welcome everyone to episode 2 of our Horus Heresy Tale of Gamers. Welcome back after our first month's busy painting and building and converting. And thank you everyone who has tagged me or used the hashtag on social media. I will be putting some of those in at the end, so stick around to see your models displayed. With me today we have all the same people as before. Today we're going to be talking about how we got on with the first month's theme, which was leaders, and everyone I think pretty much has made a leader. We'll get to me. And so we're going to talk about that, and then we're going to talk about what we're going to make in the next month. So starting on my right, Josh, how did your painting go? And how's it going to go for the next month?
Yeah, absolutely, Annie. So I started as kind of in line with the challenge and started off with a leader. I put together my Praetor, who I believe you guys saw kind of some work in progress unpainted pics of in the last video, and hopefully there'll be some videos of him in some post magic here. But yeah, I managed to finally get him to a place where I was happy with him. It's based off the Dominion Zephon, but I've tried to put my own kind of spin on it. Now, this kind of starting the Blood Angels has been a bit of an experience with like trying to figure out how to weather with very limited supplies. And I was a little tentative getting started, but I'm kind of leaning into it a little bit more. After the Praetor, I managed to also get a little bit of a head start on the next challenge, and I've also done my first tactical squad. Once again, gone for that kind of battle damaged look, bit of dirt, bit of scratches. However, I've kind of had a bit of a turnaround on the theme, and where I was very much in a Cygnus Prime energy last month, I'm in a bit more of a Siege of Terror feeling this month. I don't know what it was about the cold grey like stone against the kind of red armor, especially because I've gone for a bit of a darker, like almost like more like a battle worn Blood Angel look. But I feel like we're going to kind of go for that Siege of Terror energy, and especially with those awesome new Mark 6 kits, it's going to look absolutely perfect. It's almost like they've gone fresh out of the gates, fresh off the production line, and straight into hell. So very, very excited. And yeah, looking forward to adding some more to that for the next month. Figuring out what we're kind of probably stick again to a couple more troops, but see if we can't work an extra thing or two in there as well.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. You have actually smashed it, going past just leaders and getting on to the next one. That's amazing. I really love your Blood Angels. I like how dark they are. That red is like almost sort of blood. Well, it's blood red, right? And it has that weathering as well. And I like Did you use Sanguinary Guard bits on like the Sergeant? Is that Sanguinary Guard head?
Oh yeah, I feel really blessed actually because of the Sanguinary Guard kit. I mean, I know that kind of has a lot of timeline agnostic kind of bits in it with jump packs and shoulder pads and stuff. That's going to be really great for making my sergeants and characters look that like little bit more Blood Angel-y. So yeah, I think I definitely incorporated a couple of bits from there, and I'm definitely going to be sprinkling them in the collection. I might actually as well use some of the bodies, but I'm not sure what for. Maybe some Dawnbreakers later down the line, but depends how I want to go there.
Yeah, amazing. That sounds absolutely incredible. Loving your work, and I can't wait to see what we come up with for round 2. That's great.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Great. So next we up on my screen we have Quinn. Quinn, would you like to tell us how your Raven Guard, Iron Handsy mashup-y thing is going, and like what you've made?
Well, for the time being, I did manage to paint one whole model. I'm focusing on Raven Guard at the minute, because I have basically an entire army of Iron Hands. It's not one of the newer models I painted. I've had this conversion sitting around half built for like 5 years now. I'm honestly more glad to have it finally painted up and out of my queue than I am to have a test model. There's definitely some things I want to change about the scheme going forward. I think having painted one model, he's a little too blue for my liking. The color contrast, I think the Raven Guard really benefit from having a very monochrome scheme without huge amounts of saturation. So I'm gonna try mixing it up going forward. So I might go back and add some glazes to tone down some of the highlights a bit. But I'm pretty happy with him. It was really fun converting this model into a Vigilator. I feel like I've been seeing people's Vigilator conversions pop up everywhere. It seems like they're very good in the new edition. But apart from that, I converted a bunch of Squad of Despoilers from the new Mark 6 kit, which I kit bashed with Mark 4s, and that was kind of almost as much of an experiment, seeing how well the Mark 6 do kit bash as anything else. I definitely learned some things. Honestly, the hardest part was source 2 bolt pistol arms for them. But yeah, I have a squad of 10 Despoilers and 10 Scouts that I built for the 40k Scout kit ready. Again, they're a squad I had half finished for ages, so it was nice to polish those off. Before the end of the month, I'll have the Despoilers painted, and I'll get to play a game with them and the Visualizer attachment, and see how it goes, see if I'm going to regret everything or so. But I'm pretty happy so far.
Yeah, that's cool. So you're going to try and get the Despoilers and the Scouts done for round 2, I guess. Is that right?
Maybe another squad as well. I don't want to be too optimistic at how fast I paint. I do prefer batch painting, painting individual characters, but then again, I'll probably have like an intense week of painting and then do nothing for 3 weeks.
Yeah. That's really cool. Has your plans changed at all from the last time, or are you still going down that sort of same theme of Shattered Legion stuff, mostly Raven Guard?
Yeah. Well, I mean, in terms of I've already got Iron Hands, so Raven Guard makes a lot of sense for Shattered Legion things. I really like the people using the Mark 6 kits for any Legion, but of the 3 Shattered Legions, they definitely suit the Raven Guard the most. And I have a whole, for the squad of 10 Despoilers, I managed to use a whole 5 of the 40 Mark 6 Marines from the new box. So I suspect, given I have a lot of infantry to get through, my plans haven't really changed. Because they have to get used somehow.
Yeah. I'm finding, I've got a ton. I've got about 60 guys, and my plan was to do a really elite force. And so I'm like, how have I ended up with like 60 tactical Marines? But that sounds amazing. Raven Guard, like I said before, one of my favorite legions, and I love your conversions. We'll put them up on the screen, as we will for all of the models that people talk about. Those Scouts look really great, and I like the 2 pistol arm guys as well. Was it a struggle to, like you say, it's a struggle to find the bits?
Yes, actually, the one thing was it was dead easy having the light-handed bolt pistols. Finding enough left hands that could hold bolt pistols was a bit of a nightmare. So I think I've exhausted my supply of those. Yeah, that was definitely the trickiest part. Thankfully, the Mark 6 arms, if you kind of mix and match them a bit, you can get some decent poses.
Yeah, that's amazing. Can't wait to see the next round. These armies are shaping up really well. Thank you so much. Next, we're going to come to Spencer. Spencer, I know you've been working hard. I've seen your amazingly coloured Malakhurst. But yeah, what else have you been up to?
Yeah, so last time when we recorded, I wasn't really sure what direction I was going to go because I'm quite new to Horus Heresy in terms of the game. So now that it's all out and all the books are out, and I've got this one, the Heretical book. So I was looking through it and trying to decide which way I wanted to build my army and everything. And I found a Rite of War. So if anyone doesn't know, Rite of War is like, it changes the way your army is built and you get to do certain things. There's one called Pride of the Legion, which means that you can take Terminators as your troop choices. When you build an army in Horus Heresy, you have to have a certain number of troop choices. So I thought, what better way to build Sons of Horus army than to go with loads of Cataphracti and loads of Justarian Terminators and have Abaddon as a leader. So yeah, I'm changing what I'm doing. I'm going to have all the Cataphracti Terminators and make some of them Justarian. I do need to find a bunch of power axes, basically, because they have the Besoran axes. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's like the Sons of Horus special power axes.
Okay.
And they're all going to have those because they just sound really cool. That's my current plan. I have been working on Malachus still, so I do need to finish him up. But then once I finished him, I'm going to kit bash Abaddon, probably use the Sons of Horus Terminator Praetor model for that, and roll on from there, really. I do like, there's in Age of Sigmar, there's the Stormcast Praetors who have like a halberd, and the top section of that halberd makes for quite a cool power axe. So I'm going to try and find someone who's got like 20 of those spare somewhere on the internet. Try and pinch all those. Yeah, go to town with kit bashing those into some Terminators, and those will make it my line troops. So like read something else in the book that's like, oh, look at this rival. This sounds amazing.
Yeah, you turn the page. You turn the page, and you're like, "Oh, I'm going to do this." No, that sounds amazing. Yeah. It sounds like very much like a dark mirror of my army, being the Deathwing focused Dark Angels. So hopefully that'll be a cool clash on the table. One thing: are you going with, because Justerian Terminators are black? Are you going to paint all of your Terminators black, or just the Justerians?
Yes. So I'm going to have a nice mix, because I really like the Sons of Horus colours. I love the sea green colour, so I do want to have that in my army, and I'm going to throw in there like a Dreadnought as well and a few other bits. So I don't want it to be just all black Terminators. I do want to have like a nice mix of different colours in there, like the sea green and then the black, so you can see the elite Terminators compared to the regular Terminators. Just like, I think it'll look quite nice as, separating those out on the tabletop, being able to see which ones are the elites and which ones are the standard Terminators. Hopefully should make for a nice looking army.
Yeah, for sure. I think it'll be amazing, especially with different sizes. Like, contenders are very much like very similar to mine, but I liked evil and twisted instead of noble and heroic. Like Dark Angels like to be.
Yeah, we're just trying to get rid of the false emperor, because
for sure
he's been lying for years and years and years.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, and I will send you 3. I think, of the Praetor axes.
Well, that should be enough for the first squad of Terminators, actually, because I have got one that I'm already working on, which I've kit bashed in.
That's really great. I'm really looking forward to this project. I think I say this every time, and I've said this a lot, that I just love hearing about people's projects. I think it's really cool. It's really inspiring for me to hear about the things that people are doing, and that sounds amazing, and they all sound amazing. Thank you so much, Spencer. Zoe, we're coming to you next. So what have you been working on your Iron Warriors, and what is coming up?
I have finished my Siegebreaker Centurion, who is my, army lieutenant. He's like the second in command, which I converted from the plastic Terminator Centurion captain model. Pretty heavily converted it. And I'm just finishing up my Warsmith, which I made from the Big Axe Praetor from the Age of Darkness set. But that's not all. I've also completed one of my destroyers in the signature black destroyer armor with a heavily converted jump pack. All my Marines are going to be in Mark III, so I managed to convert a Mark III jump pack using a Mark III backpack and a Raptor jump pack from 40k. What else have I done? I've made a start on my Kratos, which has been fun. I started painting and I was like, no, I need to do the homework. I need to actually do the homework for once in my entire life, paint my leaders. So my 2 leaders nearly painted. I might also build a herald. I don't know. I've got a plague marine who's been reasonably deplagued sitting around, who might make a really good herald. I don't know. There's a lot of models I've been testing the paint scheme on. So I've got a couple of regular infantry. I'm going to start playing around with the paint scheme on those. But yeah, I have a leader, and I nearly have another leader. So I nearly have 2 leaders. Plan next is to do 10 tactical guys, and maybe another 10 tactical guys, or maybe 10 despoilers. I can't decide which. I'm going to have to play around with it, because Iron Warriors get their shrapnel bolters, which are reduced range, reduced AP, but they do pinning. Because they are shrapnel bolters and not bolters, the tactical squad theory of the Legion rule doesn't work, except if you take the Hammer of Olympia, Rite of War, which then lets you do Fury of the Legion, but with shrapnel bolters. Plan is to use Hammer of Olympia. They're the Legion equivalent of the Yorkshireman sketch back in my day. I don't have a plan. If there's hobby nearby, I'm just going to grab it and start working on it. Hobby in front of me right now, that's what I'm working on. It's going well. I'm really happy with how these 2 have come out, especially considering the pretty major conversions. They've come out really well. So hopefully by the time this video goes live, I'll have both of those completely finished.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. Yeah, I love both of your. Love seeing your conversions and the things that you've made. It's very characterful. There's a lot of chaosy marine stuff that you might be able to incorporate into your Iron Warriors, even if it's not the sort of demon-y stuff, but the more sort of corrupted, broken down kind of things will look really cool.
I am rethinking my policy on not having the cool Iron Warriors robot, because even though it's kind of Perturabo's thing and my Iron Warriors hate their dad, I still want it because it's a cool robot.
So they could get cool robots anyway, right? Yeah, glad to see it going well and looking forward to seeing more guys out of the Iron Warriors. Yeah, and everyone has completed the task, haven't they? Everyone's done their leaders. So big ticks to everyone apart from me. I haven't actually finished anything new since we last spoke. My project, previous to the last video, I painted a Praetor. He wasn't 100% done, I guess, when we recorded the last video. So maybe I could say I finished him during the time, and that actually did complete the challenge. But in my heart of hearts, I know that's not the case. He was already done before. So I didn't finish anything new other than that Praetor. But I did kit bash a lightning claw sort of, I don't know what the word is, centurion, like the smaller captain guy. And I don't know if he's going to have a role or if he's just going to be a centurion. I just thought he was really cool. I'll put him on the screen. I kit bashed him from the Dark Angels Forge World Praetor and added a couple of different lightning claws. I really like how you can add sort of non-symmetry and it makes the model seem a little bit more run down, a little bit more like worn and battle worn. He's got 2 different lightning claws, so like maybe he lost one, maybe one of them was taken from a fallen enemy. One of them looks a bit more chaotic as well. It's like I think it's a Mark 3 or Mark 4 one with the fingers, whereas the other one is the new Mark 6 one that goes on the back of the hand. And so I think it's cool to have that kind of thing, and I really like lightning claws. Anyway, so he's done or will be painted. I also made a base for him. And I also made a base for 10 Terminators. And so I used some corp to like build up layers to make these bases, kind of stolen from Ben something on Twitter. He has a ton of armies and he uses this kind of basing a lot. And so I stole that idea and made some that are very, very similar to that. Then I've started painting those bases as well. And so those bases are almost done, ready for my first 10 Deathwing Terminators, who I have also converted but not finished painting. And what I've done with these guys is done 5 Cataphracti and 5 Tartarus Terminators using the bodies from the 40k Deathwing Terminators that I showed you guys last time, and then the arms and where relevant helmets and legs are from the various, whichever kind of Terminator it is. And they look really cool, slightly different style body, and if you look closely you can tell that it's not the right style of body, but if you don't look closely it just looks like a really cool robed unit of Terminators. And the Tartarus heads fit in the robe bodies perfectly. The Cataphracti heads didn't, and I had used the hooded heads instead, but the Tartarus ones in particular look incredible. And I'm looking forward to getting those guys painted, base coated them and washed them. And I was lucky to be sent some of the new washes that come out tomorrow as we're speaking. And so I've used the new blue wash in place of the old blue wash that I was using. Ironically, it makes them less blue than they were. The old washes stain a lot more than the new washes. The new ones like run really neatly into the recesses. The black is blacker but still has that like blue tint in the shadows. My army is going to hopefully be all Terminators, at least at the start. I can use Pride of the Legion like Spencer is to get them troops and to get them into the line.
Fans of the Horus Heresy and a Tale of Gamers, welcome to my army update video on my Sons of Horus build project. I've been up to a few things since I last made a video on this for this series that Annie's running, and I'm going to share with you a couple of the highlights. The Mark 6 squad is a great kit, very impressed by it. It's got a lot of cool equipment, and I had particular fun building this comms operator. I really like the mast helmets, they look good. I recognise this Marine's head. I've decided with my Sons of Horus I'm going to use quite a few unhelmeted heads, because I think one of the characteristics of the Sons of Horus is their very nature as looking like Sons of Horus, an uncanny resemblance to the War Master. I quite like the menacing nature of these because they put me in mind of the Sardaukar enclosed stillsuit helmets. I quite like that. And it's a traitor, Sons of Horus Force, it fits. Kratos Heavy Assault Tank, biggest Heresy plastic kit tied with the Spartan. Incredible model. Loads of detailing, absolutely tons. And, you know, the standard of detailing is on par with the resin models we're all used to. Those of us who have been in the Heresy for many years now. Yeah, this is a great kit. I had a lot of fun building it. I did quite a few subtle little modifications. So firstly, I mounted a couple of resin blocks inside it to give it a bit more weight because it feels a little bit light. And I also use that as a magnetization point for the turret, which gives it a nice feel. Talking of magnetization, there's a whole load of weapon swaps on this thing. I'm going to take the turret off. I've left the sponsons unattached, but that's for transport. I'm not bothered about magnetizing those. Whatever I take this as, I'm going to take the Volkite culverins, which for those of you who understand the concept of defensive weapons on vehicles, you will know why. For the hull guns, these are just push fit, very straightforward. And they elevate, and they also move as well. So they're nice as well. And I've prepared all of the hull guns as well. And those just swap in and out. There's the las cannon. We've got the heavy bolt gun. And then finally, there is the Volkite Caliver. But most of the time, I anticipate running this with the autocannons. And that's because the autocannons synergize well with the turret armament in terms of range and armor penetration, and the fact that it already has a coaxial mounted autocannon. Now, talking of the coaxially mounted autocannon, here's a turret. So a couple of little conversions or little tweaks I did. So I put the smoke dispensers or smoke dischargers on the side of the turret. So, you know, much more real world tank style than mounting them on the hull like the instructions show. I had to use a little bit of, you know, guesswork to get those positioned right. And then as well, I magnetize the main guns. So first we have to take this little mantlet off like that. There's a couple of tiny little magnets that hold that in place. And then the gun just slides out like that. You can see I've cut off the rotational lugs, replacing with magnets, and then inside of there's magnets as well. And there's lots of magnets in this. So as well as the Kratos battle cannon, we have the Melter Blast gun, I think, if I remember its name right. And then finally we have the Volkite Cardinal. They look really good. And we've got a Hunter Killer missile, as well as the actual weapon. I've magnetised the ammo box bit, so that's for the cannon. This is for the Volkite Cardinal, like so. And then for the Melter Blast gun, we've got this bit that goes on the rear, and then this bit that sits on the top. And there's a little swarm of magnets hidden away inside there that enable that functionality.
Great. That is everyone's update. Thank you so much, everyone, for putting all the effort that you have done into your project. I think that they're going really well, and I'm so happy that so many people have been involved. There's a bunch of people who have used the hashtag as well, which I'm really appreciative of, and I'm going to put all of your models up whilst we're saying goodbye. If you do want to continue to be involved, please use the hashtag Horus Heresy, or just tag me and I'll find it and I'll be able to put it in the next one. If anyone's playing along at home, the next challenge is battle line or like mainline troops. But as we said, and as I've shown, you don't have to do the challenge. There's no punishment for not doing it. They're just themes to help people along. So thank you so much, everyone. And we will see you again in another month for some more Horus Heresy. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.